Welcome to Wilson's World. Now, I had captured some videos for you of my retro consoles, and I think I uploaded one, the Haunted Halloween. And if you notice on that video, the image, instead of 4:3, was kind of stretched out to 16:9. The color was okay, and the details were okay, but it was kind of stretched out, and it had one annoying little thing that every once in a while the V-Sync would mess up, and you get like some screen tearing every now and then. It was a little bit distracting to play, so I'm sure it was distracting for viewers to watch that. The device I had, like I said, the color and all that was okay, and that was this device, KNX Pro, for composite or S-video capture device. This device ran about 67, so I was expecting a little bit more. Like I said, color accuracy was okay, but it was just stretched out. And that screen tearing, I just couldn't take it, so I had to, I'm gonna have to return this. Sorry, KNX Pro, but it's gonna be returned. And this one ran about 67, so I really was expecting a lot better. In its place, I finally broke down and bought, of course, the Framemeister Xrgb Mini. This thing requires no introduction at all. Well, I did just do an introduction, but no explanation. This Xrgb Mini, you know what it's for. This is like pro level, scaling, etc. I've been playing with it all afternoon. It was expensive, but recently they announced that the chips they used to make them are out of print. So for a little while, maybe a month ago, these things were selling for like twice as much as they normally run. But luckily the price came back down. I say down, but it's still kind of high. So we're just, just sub 400, but that's what they run. It's worth every penny. I've been playing with it all day. It's great. Now, to get the most out of this scaling box, you're gonna have to use RGB. But that requires getting like, well, if your console doesn't support RGB natively, you have to get a mod to the console. Some do support RGB natively, but you still have to get the cables, and then to convert it to, you have to convert it to Euroscart and convert that to like a D terminal. And you have a lot of consoles, you also have to get like a switcher, a SCART switcher. So those cables aren't cheap overall. So when you add it all up, that's quite a bit of money. It's quite a bit of money for this, but if you have a lot of retro consoles, then it's gonna add up, and you don't want to continuously unplug and plug in the consoles. You want to go out the ports. So it's a nice compromise, and to still have an upgrade path. For now, I'm doing all my consoles with S-video. In fact, this is S-video right here. Now, I said if you're going to get this, you're obviously the big leagues as far as the retro and you want the best picture. But for composite, it's not going to look that great. The minimum I would use this with is S-video, and that's what I'm using here. And I've been very pleased and surprised at how clean it is. For one, S-video is pretty good. It's not quite RGB, but it's not as bad as composite. And really the only console I've had an issue with is the OG NES. That's composite. It still looks good, but since it's composite, the signal's only gonna look okay. This is a different aside here, but this is Magical Poppin'. Another quick tip. The Super Famicom game for Magical Poppin' runs about 300 right now. That's about the lowest I've seen it, plus or minus. But it's pretty much $300. So I'm a firm believer that, hey, if it's too much, there's always repros. So I bought this Magical Poppin' repro for the Super Nintendo. It was only 25. 25 versus 300. And as a bonus, it's translated to English, so it's great. So I'll probably do some game capture of this and play added to this video, since you can not just see the Magical Poppin' game. It's a really good platformer, very well done, and not just to see this game, but to actually see the capture's gonna be off the Xrgb Mini. Package is pretty simple. The device is lightweight. You can see it over here, just kind of hanging out. Have all the inputs. Composite for, like I said, the consoles that don't support S-video. But right now I'm waiting for a few S-video cables to come in, one for my Dreamcast. I already have this video for the Xbox, original Xbox. It looks very good. The scaling is great. There's no de-interlacing or any funny artifacting. That's the other thing about this other old one. It did look good, but occasionally had interlacing issues. You could see like half the image. You know what I'm talking about, like for fast motion, half the character kind of disappear for a split second. This was a good attempt, but it's just gonna have to go back. But this one does a great job of deinterlacing. You can adjust so many things on this. To be honest, I really don't know what all the things it can do. I'm gonna have to read forums, look at YouTube videos to tweak this scaler exactly how I want it. But with the current firmware, updating the firmware wasn't too hard either. All I had to do was download because it's a Japanese product, so all the menus are in Japanese, the remote's in Japanese, and I'm gonna have to buy an overlay for it. I really don't. I'm kind of memorizing the keys now, but I can get an overlay for it with English, printed on there. And the latest firmware, so I was talking about all the tweaks you can do. The latest firmware lets you do all your tweaks and then go ahead and save a profile to your SD card. That's very handy when you have a lot of systems and you don't want to start from scratch every time to configure it exactly how you want. You can do that once per system, save your profile. The next time you can just load up the profile for the system. It's great. Like I said, this is just day one with it. I'm very excited. I'm going to actually capture some of this on Elgato. I'll probably talk a little bit more about that while I'm playing Magical Poppin'. So let's get to it. Okay, continuing with the video. I have Magical Poppin' playing on my Super Nintendo. This is originally, like I said, a Super Famicom game. This is a repro for the Super Nintendo translated into English. And I'm playing it using S-Video, going into the Framemeister with the scan lines, and it's being output at 720p. So the scan lines look a little bit different on the capture, I'm able to tell right now, but not by much. If anything, it comes out just slightly dark on the capture. That's just the poly-capture thing. So playing with the 8-bit do, so I can have wireless. So let's play Poppin', Magical Poppin'. This Elgato, it's definitely worth the money. Since I started retro collecting 2 years ago, I thought about it, but then I'm like, it is a lot of money. You know, is it worth it just for games? In the end, I say yes. If you're gonna go through the trouble of collecting retro systems, at some point you're gonna want, I won't say it's best quality, as good quality as you can for your budget. This is definitely not an impulse buy. So since I've been collecting since 2015, so it's been 2 years that I've tried other stuff. It just didn't work out. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, other stuff. It just at the end of the day, I just wasn't satisfied. A lot of stuff I was just like, yeah, I can maybe just live with it. But if you're gonna play these games, you should be happy in the sense that you're getting the quality you want. If you're not that picky, then that's fine. Perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I was going to do a capture of this. I did do a capture of this game with the old system, and I just couldn't upload it. It just looked too crappy. Now for the Nintendo games, they're still not going to look that great. And maybe the solution for Nintendo games is you can mod a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo to output HDMI, but that's not cheap either. I think for Nintendo, the best solution would be really just to get one of those cheap clone systems and just have it output HDMI. Okay. You can tell I can't do two things at once. I'm sure you could say you could do that for the Super Nintendo also, but that may be a solution, maybe. Those twin-one systems. If you're not that picky about playing on regular hardware or original hardware. But for me, I'm in the middle. If I can crack, I prefer to play on original hardware. But when it's not convenient, like games are too expensive, I don't mind playing on emulation. But I always do prefer playing on original hardware. I think most collectors prefer original hardware for obvious reasons. And special items. I don't know. That's the whole point of collecting. Within, like I said, I keep saying within reason because, yeah, I could have spent 300 on this game itself, Magical Poppin' for the original. But would it be really worth it? You know, I don't think so. Not for 300. Like I said, it's a fun game, but I'm not myself going to spend 300. Not for one game. That's what I was saying. I saw that classic HQ2, and it looks really good to play Nintendo and Super Nintendo games in HDMI. Yeah. So I think it's like $80 maybe. Cheesecake. Look like cake actually. The HQ classic. It's called classic. Classic something. You know, I want to play Nintendo, Super Nintendo games in HDMI. Oh, there's that Retron, and I believe it's like maybe $40. And honestly, I think I'm gonna have to either the classic. I'm either gonna pick up the classic HQ2 that'll play Nintendo and Super Nintendo games in HDMI, and like I said, that was about 80. But I may, or I'll probably do since I'm pretty much set for my Super Nintendo. I mean, because this is S video and I'm playing on original hardware, and it looks really good. And there's still an upgrade path. I can actually get better cables. I believe the Super Nintendo will natively output, what's it called? RGB with the right cable. So that's still an option. In fact, all these consoles, I still have some kind of upgrade path if I were to choose to go that route. But like I said, I'm perfectly happy with this video now. Maybe someday I'll change my mind. Oh, crap. And want like the best. But I think at that point, we're getting to the audiophile syndrome. What I mean by that is you focus more and more on getting like perfection, and you don't even spend any time to actually enjoy what you're after. Like I said, I played today with the Framemeister. Most of the day just playing with settings, getting to know it. Crap. And honestly, just now I'm playing a game and actually I'm really enjoying it. That was the whole point. I think that'll be my solution. Like I said, the Nintendo didn't look really too great. It's only outputting some positive. Like I said, shit. Would it be worth the money to mod one? I don't think so. Come on. So I think that's gonna be my solution. Like I said, I prefer to play on original hardware, but the easiest thing is to get that Retron and just play my Nintendo games on there. You know, versus playing on the emulator, which I can play on the emulator. At least to hold me over. You know, I spent some money on the Framemeister just now. And, oh shit. Nice parallax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of parallax. 6, you have to see that? I said kids today probably aren't impressed by that. This is a really good game. A really good system. So I think I'll take care of all my, you know, getting high quality crap. Let's go down there. Yes, with that Retron N, I think that'll take care of my pursuit of perfection for now. That Retron N for the Nintendo. That's only weak link for now. The Nintendo doesn't look very good. GameCube looks great. That orange or that green thing. So that's an easy fix for Nintendo. I just could pick up one of those Retron ends and take care of that. Like I was saying, Dreamcast looks good. I tested the N64, looks good. S-Vita is really enough for most people, to be honest with you. What's that test? Like the OG. Okay, now I can break through those magnifying glass things. I can't fit it there. So I guess it's kind of like that Metroidvania style a little bit. Oh no! How many systems am I gonna have on for this video? I think like 6 or 7. Those that I showed in the video, which was my Wii has this video, my original Xbox. Okay, oh, that's big stars. Fine. Oh, I can do that. Shuffle, we can bounce down. So I have those 5 systems: the Super Famicom, the Japanese GameCube, N64, American GameCube, and the Super Nintendo. That's 5. OG Xbox is 6, the Dreamcast is 7, then the Wii 8. So I have 8 systems total I'll be running. Nintendo, really, it's not worth it. And that Retron thing's pretty cheap and available. I think like $40, which is really good. One of the most annoying things was that aspect ratio. All the way around that way. So it takes us so these guys I can rooms. Yeah. No more secrets. Goodies. Awesome. Here's your zombie. Thank you for coming. Switch my weapons, the tank probably come back. No. What's she doing? Jeez. Shit. Candy, she looks like she still has 4, but I don't know why she's not doing that. Oh shit. My special weapon. Oh shit. Oh good. Getting close there. Like, so this game's good, but it's not worth 300. It's probably, I mean, it has to be. Okay, good. Awesome. I guess I couldn't use my specials with the boss for some reason. Pretty sure I still have 4 lollipops. Okay, I guess we're heading to the woods. Also, the capture looks a little bit saturated, but that's, I could have tweaked that on the capture. I probably should have done that, calibrated a little bit more. But trust me, on my TV, it looks fine. This game does look pretty good for a Super Nintendo game. Very colorful and big graphics, big, floppy graphics. Bubbles from like radius 3. Okay. Let's see if it's some more hearts or something. Uh-oh. My special. But I was done. Oh, game over. Oh well. That's the way it goes. Yeah, I mean, so that's a magical pop-in, the not worth $300 game, but definitely worth the $25 repro translated in English. Magical pop-in, and just a little bit sample of the Framemeister doing what it does, which is the main reason I bought it, is to play these little games, have them look as good as possible. So, as usual, comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks. Continue or not to continue? Nah, I think I'm good.